Did you ever see Monty Python? Now for something completely different. Hey, I'm Nash. This is Peter. We're the co-founders of SafeMotos. We're the last team presenting today, so please wake up. The liquor's almost there. I'm going to start with a question, and I don't want somebody to answer from my cohort. I'm going to ask a question. How do people commute in African cities like Lagos, Kampala, Nairobi, and Kigali? Does anybody know? Jonathan, you know. You know what? I didn't know before I went to Africa the first time about 10 years ago either. Motorcycle taxis are the people movers of Africa. You're in cities that were built for 10,000 and now have 10 million people based on top of them. The traffic jam is terrible. The buses are terrible. And motorcycles are fast, convenient, and cheap. They're great to get around on. It's like being on a roller coaster with no seatbelts, being driven by a 14-year-old. I used to think it was funny too, you know. We used to say we don't need coffee. We can just run off our morning adrenaline rush. But then it gets a bit more serious, you know. You go down the street, every day you see accidents. You know, it's depressing. A bus goes by, people are singing a hymn. And you're going, let me think about the people I know who've been in accidents. Myself, I think of Carrie, I think of Julia, I think of Pedro, I think of Ruth telling me the story of flying over the motorcycle bars. I think of Lillian in the hospital for 4 months. Then I think it's stupid that I'm saying a prayer, because this isn't a matter of fate. Road accidents are the second greatest killer on the continent of Africa right now, just behind HIV and AIDS. Every single day, 612 people die across the continent of Africa. That's 16% of the global road deaths, with just 2% of the cars. Motorcycle taxis are a leading part of this. In East Africa, a majority of traffic accidents involve motorcycle taxis. In Rwanda, where Peter and I are running our pilot, it's over 80%, and that's coming from the Kigali city center. Why is it like this? Well, right now, the way the market is the only motivation for the motorcycle taxi drivers is to go fast. In the local language, moto is boda boda, which means fast, fast. And it doesn't, when you go out to get a driver, what you're doing is you're rolling the dice. You don't know if that's the best driver in the country, or if this is a seasoned professional, or if it's his first day on the job. What we wanted was to go, well, what if you could decide who the best driver was? What if you could make it so it's not rolling the dice with your life, and you know that you're always getting a safer driver? I'd like to introduce to you SafeMotos, the first application worldwide that's connecting customers to drivers that they know are safer for motorcycle taxis. How are we doing this? We're working with motorcycle taxi drivers who are equipped with smartphones, and then taking telematic data, just like the insurance companies do, to know the driving habits. We're using gyroscopes, accelerometers, and GPSs that are built into the smartphones to know if a driver is treating the street like it's a rally course, to know if they're braking every 100 feet trying to avoid a bus, if they're going so fast they're trying to get terminal velocity. Then we feed this into a risk model algorithm that Peter has written, so that we can sort drivers on a scale of 1 to 5 by levels of safety. We then use an Uber-style mobile application to connect customers to drivers that they know are safer. Peter, can you show these guys how it's working?
Yes. The first screen that the customer sees is a map showing the nearest drivers, where they are. To request a ride, they select where they are, they drop a pin there. They also enter additional directions to the driver and select a minimal star rating for the driver they want to be picked up from. On requesting the ride, our system automatically matches them with the nearest driver who meets the minimum star ratings. Once the driver accepts the ride, they can watch the driver come towards them in real time and call them in case they're deviating off course. When the driver arrives, the system will notify the customer and they connect each other. Once Once the customer has connected with the driver, that's when the real work starts. We start streaming all the data that measure the driving style of the driver to our server, which automatically analyzes that information to gauge how they're driving. Are they braking too fast? Are they decelerating? Are they taking turns crazily? And at the end of the ride, they can see the rating that the algorithm gave us and also how much they're supposed to pay the driver. And they can also rate each other in terms of stars. Yes, right there. Thank you.
Thank you. The people of Rwanda who are currently piloting are breaking down the doors trying to reach with us. We've been featured on the front page of the national newspaper. We've had the Ministry of ICT tweet about us. Our Facebook platform's now at over 6,000 users and become a platform for people to be declaring the need for a solution that makes motorcycle taxis safer. For the drivers, I always believe the best business model is a model where customers give a company $1 because they know it's going to make them $2. Right now, motorcycle drivers, taxi drivers are under capacity, with only about 50% of the time carrying a passenger. SafeMotos is another channel to an increased number of passengers, while also allowing them to be rewarded for being a safer driver by being paid a premium price. There's now an incentive to be a better driver. For this, they're paying a subscription fee of $1 per day. We started our pilot in mid-March. Since then, our 5 drivers have made over 200 successful trips. We've signed up a university, several different businesses, and over 100 volunteers to our pilot. We're just waiting till we get back on the ground on May 2nd so that we can say, go. Our first year, we're looking to work with 400 drivers, do on an average about 4,000 daily trips. We're looking to break even in approximately February and show that this business model works. Once we've shown it works, we want to take this to a bigger market. This is not just a Rwanda problem, this is an African problem. And in just 7 different markets, there's over 400,000 motorcycle taxis, which using SafeMotos' business model represents over $150 million a year business opportunity. Right now, there's actually nobody in this field, but there's clouds on the horizon. Uber just launched in Kenya in February. They have no indication right now looking motorcycles, but they're showing that the business is open. There are cooperatives that are looking at using safety as a value proposition. Right now, the opportunity is for us to take. We're the team that's going to make this happen. Myself, I've been spent about 10 years on the African continent now. I have a startup background, and I've worked with some of the most innovative projects on the continent of Africa, including MIT Media Lab's One Laptop Per Child and Carnegie Mellon University in Rwanda. Peter, he dreams in code. He was the number one programmer in Kenya for high school when he graduated, and he was the entire software development team for one of East Africa's largest transportation companies. And we have a ground team of Cleve, Eric, and Antoine, who come from Kigali's most innovative university, and their passion, enthusiasm, and dedication to this project is humbling. We're raising $100,000, and today we're excited to say they're almost most of the way there. We've got $75,000 committed, and we've been getting such good feedback from angels, both in Europe, in America, and in Africa, that we're actually looking to raise an increase of that to $125,000. The exciting thing for this room is here is we're an Irish incorporated company. We're here for the human capacity, for the global launchpad, and the fact that this is a place where we can create a global business from. This isn't an academic exercise. Peter and I want to close this round and just get to the hard work of making this project successful, as we absolutely believe it will be. We'd really like to actually use this time we're in Ireland to close a few deals. We'd love to do that over a couple glasses of wine. Thank you so much.